Perhaps one of the biggest bits of news for Marvel Comics was the acquisition by Disney. And with me is the Senior Vice President of Marketing for Marvel Comics, Mike. What does that mean for Marvel Comics now that you guys are owned by Disney?
Nothing at all. No, it's actually been a really good thing. You know, with any acquisition, obviously you're a little apprehensive of how it's going to go, but Disney's been wonderful so far. What it's done for us is it's opened us up to a whole new audience. It's our ability to reach out to new audiences and demographics has expanded immensely, as well as from a business side. It's also opened up opportunities for us to kind of use a lot of their infrastructure and key learnings that they've had over the last 70, 75 years.
And speaking of whole new audiences, you guys pulled in a whole new audience for Iron Man with the Iron Man movies, and you guys have 2 more movies coming out this next year. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. We've got Thor coming out next year in May, and then Captain America, the First Avenger, coming out in July right after that. It's part of our Avengers Assemble initiative, where we're kind of bringing together some of our top characters, culminating in the Avengers movie coming out in 2012. So we're real excited about it. Thor is going to be the next one. All these movies, as you've seen, are interconnected from what you've seen in the Iron Man movies and the Incredible Hulk movies. We've kind of laid little Easter eggs and connectivity, and that's all going to be coming to fruition through over the next 2 years.
And kind of a device that's used very often in comic books is that connectivity, that continuity that's built up. Speaking of comics, what do you guys have going on for comics-wise?
Well, right now we just came out of Dark Reign, which was kind of about a 7-year period in our comic books where we were having a bit of turmoil between some of our characters and such. Right now we got the Heroic Age, which just started up, and it's more about heroes being heroes again, fighting the villains. There's still a lot of turmoil and fighting going on, but it's more the heroes teaming up together now and taking on the villains and then fighting for a better day.
And now also with the acquisition by Disney and stuff like that, you guys have became basically Marvel Entertainment, so like things like the movies and stuff like that are all self-produced through you guys, through your own studio, correct?
Correct, yeah, and we started that about 5 years ago when we looked at what was going on and we saw how we had licensed out some movies and we felt like that we could do our movies just as well as anyone else. Especially with the passion that we had for our movies, we knew our characters so well. So we looked at Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk, and those were the first 2 that we did back in 2008. They were huge successes for us. We were real happy. And then about, I guess it was back in August, we found out that Disney was interested in acquiring us, and it just became the perfect storm of everything. You bring in Disney's power and abilities and key learnings with what we've been doing. They've been a studio for so many years. It's really just been a very good mesh. The greatest thing about Disney, too, is they're letting us be us. They're not coming in and trying to force anything on us. They understand that we're successful before them, and they're just looking for ways where they can help us.
So much of Comic-Con has been about movies and TV nowadays, but you guys, it's all about comics. That's what got it all started. Do you feel like any of that stuff gets overshadowed because of all the movies and TV here at Comic-Con?
I think one of the things that you'll see at the Marvel booth, which is really great, is we're able to bring all of our divisions together. We've got our theatrical, we've got our animation, we've got our publishing, we've got our digital media, and we've got our video games. So it's the way the company is run, it's run so well that we're able to leverage each one of the divisions. So as where you might be seeing that somewhat with some of the other the booths and such, because there are a lot of studios down here, there are a lot of video game manufacturers. I do think comics, this shines a great spotlight on comics. And you're looking at all the different newspapers covering this, all the different media outlets. It's a great opportunity for comics to get back out there in the people's eyes.
And lastly, what's the one big thing people need to look out for from Marvel Comics?
I think it's from the comics or from theatrical?
One big thing.
It's got to be Thor. It's got to be Thor, followed by Captain America, the First Avenger. I think leaving this convention, everyone's going to be talking about Thor. It looks spectacular. Chris Hemsworth's been unbelievable in the role. The story's amazing. We're going to show some footage probably tomorrow at Hall H, and it should be the biggest topic.
So that's a big thing to look out for Marvel. Pick up your Mjolnir and visit Asgard. For Time Warner Cable, I'm Noah Park.